Is Jalen Hurts a quarterback one here in week one of the 2021 season? That is going to be the focus of today's show, the Friday Morning Reflections. I'm Chris Allen, part of the Football Guys staff. We're here. We help you worry less. We help you save time. We help you win more here at FBG. And so let's go ahead and dive right on into it. I can understand the concern that we have with Jalen Hurts after the, let's say, roller coaster of a season that the Philadelphia Eagles had towards the back end of last season, where Hurts was back into the league 20th in EPA per play, 30th in completion percentage over expected. For a rookie, that is towards the back end of what we would want to expect for a rookie quarterback. But let's add some context to the situation. Jalen Reagor, injured throughout most of the season, didn't come on as a wide receiver that we expected. The offensive line continued to have injuries along the offensive line throughout most of the season. The coaching staff were having issues. It was just a complete mess and an environment that was difficult for a guy like Jalen Hurts in order to thrive. We saw Carson Wentz completely implode. So despite the fact that he had an absolute overall quarterback one week, the week that they wound up playing the Arizona Cardinals, he was 8th in points per dropback from a fantasy points perspective. Averaged over 280 yards, over 70 yards on the ground, like per game, like during the 3 to 4 starts that he had. We have concerns, and we can actually visualize some of those concerns using the projections and rankings that we currently have here at Football Guys that's part of the content that we provide to you on a weekly basis. Let's go ahead and take a look at it, where we have Jalen Hurts as the quarterback 8 for week one, and that is what we would want to see for the guy that we've selected in most drafts, going as the, let's say, quarterback 10, quarterback 11, quarterback 12, somewhere in there in terms of casual leagues. But we know what he provides on the rushing side that gives him that stable floor on a week-to-week basis that would make us want to invest in him. But let's look at some of the receivers. That's what gives us some of that uncertainty. Devonta Smith, rookie, the guy that, for the most part, everybody's considered to be one of, if not the best rookies out of his particular class. Where do we see him now in our rankings? You have to scroll all the way down to wide receiver 41 before we see the very first pass catcher that's going to be a part of that squad that we're assuming Jalen Hurts is going to need in order to, produce on this upcoming week. You have to scroll even farther in order to see newly added. Let's see, where do we have to go all the way down in order to find Quez Watkins? We have to actually go all the way down to wide receiver 74 to find Quez Watkins. Jalen Reagor is just a couple spots ahead of him at wide receiver 72. The uncertainty regarding the Eagles pass catchers at this point, or at least the wide receivers that should provide most of the production for Jalen Hurts, is what gives us most of that uncertainty, at least from a projection standpoint, because we do not know where some of those targets are going to go. We don't know how reliable those receivers are going to be once game day comes. We've seen the highlights. Jalen Reagor looks like he's resurrecting his short career. Quez Watkins, his 4.3, 4.4 speed, it looks like it should come in handy. Even guys like Zach Ertz, who we think should have gone out the door or looked like he was going to be out of the door in Philadelphia, back for another season, also still going to be a part of that squad. We've got the skill position players that we want. It's just, can they execute? But playing against the Atlanta Falcons, they should have all the opportunity that they need in order to execute against them. Last season alone, they gave up 12 100-yard games to alpha wide receivers. These are wide receivers that garner or command these high target shares. That Devonta Smith definitely should fall into that bucket of that archetype of player. We saw Justin Jefferson. We saw Chris Godwin, Jerry Jeudy. Players like that were able to command those targets, but also capitalize on those targets for 100-yard games. Tight ends like Travis Kelce, Jimmy Graham, guys that were also not just savvy as route runners, but capable in the red zone, also succeed. And just to go and throw this out there, because we're looking at all the value intersecting at Jalen Hurts, let's look at the quarterbacks that scored rushing touchdowns last season. They allowed 6. They went to Dak Prescott, Taysom Hill, and Drew Lock. I'll go ahead and let y'all figure out how that connects to Jalen Hurts. So with Rodney McLeod, their starting safety, already injured during this week, the game total is sitting at 48 points. I'm expecting that to go over. We still haven't seen a ton of what the Atlanta offense is going to look like, which is going to probably most likely suppress what that game environment is going to look like. I'm expecting Jalen Hurts to be a quarterback 1 this week, and looking at a schedule moving forward, he should be in your lineup as a quarterback 1 moving forward.